This week on the podcast, we are hanging out with Valak once again as we talk about the latest entry in the Conjuring Universe, the NUN 2. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dissect That Film Podcast, where we dissect the good, the bad, and the ugly of the world of cinema. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me, as always, my wonderful co-host, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming.
Hello.
Hello.
That one got violent.
I try to get back. I got to make it like the Ultraman thing.
So we are back because, as I stated before, as soon as this movie came out on some sort of streaming service, we were going to cover it. I didn't think it was going to be this soon, but to be honest, I shouldn't be surprised because movies do not last in theaters for very long, and they go on streaming services pretty quick. And this dropped on HBO Max or Max a few weeks ago. It's probably been a while, but I don't remember. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, I guess we got to do it. So we're here, covering it again. We're back talking about Valak and the Nun. We're back hanging out with Sister Irene in her adventures, and our good friend Frenchie. You know, it's the adventures of Irene and Frenchie. Well, his nickname is Frenchie, but it's more. They only say it once in this movie, but
that's true.
We're back. Like I said, didn't think it was going to be this soon, but we're here. So
nothing stays on certain movie. Things barely even hit movie theaters anymore. Solo. It's like, fine, we'll just put it on the same day or just put it on a streaming service. Fuck the movie. It's like, thanks.
And it's always the question, where is this movie going to lie in the whole wide world of the Conjuring Universe? Well, you're going to find out at the end of this episode. The Nun 2 was directed by Michael Chaves, who we've talked about twice already, as he directed two of the worst entries in the Conjuring Universe with The Curse of La Llorona and The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. With this movie, he has now directed the most Conjuring Universe films out of everybody, even in James Wan.
Stop.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
To be honest, please. The screenplay was done by Ian Goldberg, Richard Nang, and Akilah Cooper, who I recognize that name because she also wrote Megan.
Oh, okay.
And Malignant in 2021.
Oh, so that's why they're shitty kids. Okay.
And she's also writing Megan 2.0, which will be out in 2025.
Deuces.
Gotta get an upgrade.
Because somebody thought, hey, we can do better. Can we?
Yeah. We have some returning cast members, as we said before. Thaisa Farmiga is back as Sister Irene. We have Jonas Bloquet as Maurice. We have some new cast members, such as Storm Reed as Sister Deborah, Anna Popplewell as Kate. Have you guys seen the Chronicles of Narnia movies?
No.
Okay. Well, Anna Popplewell.
It's like the interest. It's the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, right?
Yeah, there was like four movies.
Okay. Yeah.
It was like Prince Caspian, and I don't know. There's probably another one too. But Anna Popplewell. When I saw her pop up on screen, I went, I recognize that girl. Where's she from? She played the teacher in this movie.
Yeah.
And Sophie's mom.
She was in Halo 4.
She was in the Halo fan film Forward to Dawn or whatever it was called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But she was one of the main characters in the Chronicles of Narnia movies from the mid 2000s. We have Caitlin Rose Downey as Sophie. We have Susan Burtish as Madame Loren. And yeah, that's about it for all the main cast. Bonnie Aarons, of course, coming back to play the nun. The titular nun.
The demon herself.
The Nun 2. Nun will survive.
Oh, that's a perfect tagline. Oh, that's great. Why?
They should hire us for this. Why don't I don't
Excuse me,
understand why they
Hollywood.
don't.
You're not on strikes anymore, so let's get this going, right?
Give it about 6 months. Next thing it'll be the fucking grips on strike. They're not paying us enough for lighting.
Actually, I think crew and all that crap is. I think that's all part of the actors stuff.
I don't know. I'm just talking on my ass. I don't know.
There's so many unions, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Just pay the people. Just pay the people.
Yeah, exactly.
For the love of Pete.
100%.
And stop replacing them with AI. Nobody gives a fuck about AI.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I agree. The cinematography was done by Tristan Nyby, who also did the cinematography for the last Conjuring movie. The music was done by Marco Beltrami, who is well known for doing the music for the Scream films.
Oh.
And he did Terminator 3. I'm just naming movies that we've covered on the show. He did The Faculty, the first
nice.
Resident Evil, and a movie that we're going to be covering with our good friends, the Flicks and Friends podcast, Hellboy.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So, this was released September 8th, 2023. It ran at an hour and 50 minutes, which, to be honest, last night I was exhausted, and I saw that it was almost 2 hours long, and I went, oh, no.
I didn't even notice how long it was.
I mean, when I'm tired and I got to watch a movie, I'm like, please be like an hour and a half, please. And then it's like almost 2 hours. I'm like, oh, boy. But, I made it through, and that's all I'll say. The budget for this was $38 million, and it made $268.1 million. So these movies continue to rake in the money. Like, it's funny because The Nun was not well received, and we talked about on the show. It's not one of our worst films of this franchise, as we stated before. The two other movies that this director has done is like on the bottom of our list. The original Nun was fine. It was nothing too special. If you want to know our full thoughts on the Nun from 2018, go back and listen to our episode. It's a good one. But yeah, I mean, almost $300 million for a horror sequel to a movie that just wasn't well liked. It's pretty
in
good.
A long line of like an existing franchise.
Right.
It's not even just like a random second movie.
Right. So pretty wild. Of course, this is all of our first time watching this, so we really don't have, we're not going to say anything until the end when we give our full thoughts on the movie. So let's get into the plot.
Yes.
Let's get into the dirty, baby. Let's plant them tomatoes.
This movie opens up to a little boy running to church. He's kicking his soccer ball. We're in France in 1956, and he goes into this church. And you find out he's an altar boy, so he is tasked to go down to the basement to grab the communal wine, which is in the biggest jug ever. And I was just waiting for this kid to drop it. To be honest, I was like, "Oh, it's huge."
I was like, "What's he got there?" Oh, it's wine. What the fuck kind of container is that?
Oh, it's huge. So of course we see the mass happen, and he has to bring it back down, and this is when he sees that his soccer ball is like on top of the stool, and he's like, oh, that's a little weird. Takes the ball, pushes it aside, pushes the stool up against the shelf, puts the communal wine back up there, and then the ball comes back out.
Dude, I was like, dude, I knew exactly what's going to happen. This gag has been done so many times in this fucking series.
Anytime there is some sort of object that is just pushed into a dark room, you know that object is coming back out. Every time.
I'm not going to lie, the opening scene, Angela's got the movie going here on the side. It just made me think of it. The opening scene where you see the kid running down the street to the church. Like, I was just half expecting, like, pre-World War I tank to come out of nowhere, like Extraordinary Gentlemen, and just like start running people down. Like, what is going on? They're not Bobbies. This is France.
Here you are. Your comment about when he's looking down the corridor and it's dark.
I don't remember what I said.
You said you're half expecting Nazis to show up.
Yeah, Nazis to show up. Like, guys, listen, you're about 15 years too late to be here. Just calm the fuck down.
Like, guys, it's been over for like a decade. Like, what are we doing here?
Franz, move it.
So he gets distracted by the fact that the ball comes out, and he's you're just waiting. You're, at least for me, I'm just waiting for something to pop out of this room. And you hear a cracking noise, and the communal wine glass starts to crack, and then it explodes.
Yeah.
And he just says, "Yeah, I'm out of here." And he just books it up the stairs.
Yeah.
And he gets up there, and he runs into the father, and he asks him what's going on, and he's like, and then weird things start happening in the church, and I'm like, oh shit, the demon is inside the church, fucking inside the church.
The demon is the church.
Yeah.
Just the whole church.
You can hear like things happening on the sides, and then they start hearing like a boiling noise, and they look, and where the holy water is at the front of the church, it's boiling to the point that it just evaporates. And you're like, damn. Okay.
Valak don't be fucking around, dude. He's like upper echelon demon, or she.
And this is when the father gets yoinked up into the air, spread to look like Jesus, and just sets ablaze. Like he's just fully engulfed in flames. And cool. This kid watches the whole thing happen. Nightmares for life.
It's cool. It's a cool scene. Like the dude just goes up.
Oh, dude. It's really cool. Just wish they didn't do the same exact thing at the end of the movie.
I know there's a reason for it, but yes. I don't like it either.
And we'll explain the reasonings behind this. So you see a man walking out of the church. You don't, as somebody who's seen the first Nun, you know who this is. Did you guys know who the guy was? Like the shadow guy coming out of the church?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, dude, yeah. Well, I don't even know why they even tried. What was the point?
No. I mean, as soon as you see it, and then of course you see the shadow of Valak like behind the figure, and then it kind of like goes into him. To be honest, this whole opening scene is really well done. Like I liked everything about this opening scene. It got me engaged. It got me into it. I was pumped to see what was going to come next. So we then get to see Sister Irene again, and she is helping some other nuns get a truck out of the mud, and she's like, oh shit, if I put wood under here to get it out. And I'm like, Sister Irene knows where it's at. She's
quick,
smart.
to the nunnery. Yeah. It's just whatever they wear.
They wear the cats on it, just flops. The flying nun.
Yeah, there you go.
So
it was great.
She gets told by like the head mother or whatever, the head nun of this whatever the hell it's called, the nunnery. Is that what they're called? The nunnery? No, the convent.
I thought you said convicts. Is this Con Air? Nun Air.
It's jail.
It's where the nuns live.
It's where they grow them.
It's what it's called though. It's a convent, or isn't it called a nunnery?
I just made it up. I don't know if it's a fucking word.
Up. I don't know.
No, there's nunneries, but I don't know the difference between. Hang on.
The nunneries is where the baby seeds grow, and then they go to the convent when they get bigger.
No, I think I'm getting nursery, nunnery, and convent all just mixed up together. I don't know what's what anymore.
Okay, so a convent is where the community lives as like monks, priests, and nuns. Like if they all live together, then the nunnery is just where the nuns live.
Is this
so?
Oh, good.
You never see. I don't think you ever see anybody else live here. So I'm assuming this is just a nunnery.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a real word. I just wanted to say funny.
I've
heard the word before. It just doesn't sound right.
No. Yeah.
So she is tasked to talk to another sister, Sister Deborah, played by Storm Reed, because she's a rebel. She's a rebel. She's smoking. She's doing things. She doesn't want to be there, pretty much. You find out later she didn't want to be a nun. Her mom pretty much forced her into it because you get told the story of the fact that like she has brothers, and her brothers were, the boys are sent off to war and the girls are supposed to serve God. So that's why she's there. That's kind of her whole backstory. And we then go to there's like a circle that, the nuns are all there like doing arts and crafts. And
they're peeling potatoes.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
They're just peeling potatoes, just eating them raw.
All right. I thought one was like doing some crochet. I don't fucking.
I mean, you probably can do
Did I
arts and
watch
crafts
this
with
movie?
peeled
I don't know.
potatoes. You
Honestly,
you're tired, it's okay.
If you would have told me they were doing anything else, I would have believed you because I didn't remember they were making potatoes.
I just know they
or
were in it.
potatoes.
All I was paying attention to is the
Shredded
fact that they
potatoes.
were in a circle talking. Well, actually, no one was talking other than this one nun who was telling a graphic story, which you just find out is just the complete plot dump of the first Nun. It's literally, she's explaining the entire first movie to us again because we needed that.
I think it's the head lady. It looks like her.
Yeah, it is. But she's
plot dump.
Yeah.
Like looking at her, like I can't hear her, but looking at her, she is so mesmerized by the story that she's telling, and I'm like, ma'am, that was bad.
Yeah.
Don't smile
people
while you're
died.
telling this story. Yeah, people died.
Here's the thing, though. She tells the story, which is clearly about Sister Irene. Sister Irene comes in, of course. She hears the story being told, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to go. Do you think the head nun knows that Irene was part of that?
I don't think she knows. I don't think she knows.
I don't think she
But when the
shared that part.
But when the cardinal comes and talks to her about hey, we gotta, it's round 2 with Valak. You have for one, Deborah's there, or Deb as I call her in my notes, and there was got to be another nun there who were just listening to this oh shit, she's the chick from the story.
But how do they know though? It could have been any nun.
I don't know.
They don't even really give us. It's all super vague, and she's I just put it together.
She does say when she tells the story, oh, because I don't know if Deb was the one who asked or just another nun who was like, oh well, what happened to the nun? She's like, oh well, some people think that she went crazy, and some people think that she's dead. And of course, Irene's standing there the whole time listening to it,
facing the other way. So she's not she's emoting.
No, she's just
that's what
I'm gonna go.
Yeah. She's like, I know it's you. Something's up. How do you know? She was just standing there.
We then jump to a. Is this just an all-girls school? Is that what this is?
This is the boarding school.
Boarding school.
Yeah, it's boarding school.
Dude, this is the thing. When this happened, I swear to God, I thought it was went to the past. There's no they doesn't tell you what's going on. You're just these smaller kids, and one of them they kind of vaguely look like Irene, maybe possibly younger versions of her.
Yeah,
I thought it was
flashback.
This really anytime we were at the boarding school, it really reminded me of a Guillermo del Toro movie called The Devil's Backbone.
I've heard of,
which is set in a somewhat kind of like a boarding school, but it's a really interesting movie. It's this boarding school that has an unexploded bomb that sits in the middle of the courtyard, and it's a ghost story kind of thing. It's really good.
Nice.
Speaking of courtyard.
Actually, speaking of Flicks and Friends, as we stated earlier, they covered it on their show, so check it out and check out the movie.
Yeah, go do that.
But yeah, we're at this boarding school and we meet. What the hell is her name? Is it Julie? Is that the girl's name?
The mom?
No, Sophie. Sorry.
Yeah. Sophie.
We meet Sophie.
Yeah, Sophie.
And she is being bullied by generic bully girls because that's what we need all the time, anytime. And of course, the funny thing is she's the one getting bullied, and she's the daughter of the school teacher who sometimes just feels like she does not have any idea what's actually happening to her daughter. She's always seems like she's oblivious, or she's just afraid to say anything. It's what's going to happen? Put these bitches in their place. These girls suck. You meet the I called her the mean girl and her gang, and they are pulling a prank on the house mother by putting cockroaches in her room.
Yep.
Oh, what's her name for Mean Girls?
Well, there's a lot of them. You think?
Oh, Regina George.
Yeah, she's Regina George.
Yeah. There's a new one of those coming out. So we meet back up with Maurice. He's here. He goes by Maurice now. He's not Frenchy anymore. You only hear it one time, as I stated earlier, but he is the groundskeeper, I guess, of the boarding school, or the handyman, I should say. And everybody loves Maurice, except for when Sophie has a close relationship with him because he has a thing for her mom. I don't know if she knows that, but it's a whole thing. But then the bully, but then the mean girl comes up and is like, "Oh, so talking to your boyfriend." I'm like, God damn!
Yeah.
Someone kicked this girl down some stairs.
Steals the bracelet that she's trying to
Yeah, damn. And Maurice stands up to her, of course, and then the house mother comes in and is just like, "Hey, I got cockroaches in my room. You need to go get them." And he's like, "All right."
Again.
And he did some
get a manservant.
And he did some magic to get the bracelet back, and he's like, "Look, I look good." And
I wish he would just hit her in the back of the head with that fucking bag. Yeah, just knock that girl. Give me that fucking bracelet.
We don't condone violence towards children, but man, this girl sucked.
Sometimes you just deserve it.
We then are watching a delivery girl deliver some food to the boarding school, and we get to see her whole experience, and it's not good for her.
It's fun.
Yeah. Of course,
she gets a great tip.
She has a great time.
Well, at first, she's getting mocked by those shitty girls.
Yeah.
They're just fucking everywhere, man. And she goes in, she's putting stuff away, and she hears some weird noise. So she goes to investigate, and she turns and sees Maurice is convulsing and talking to himself. And she's like, I'm going to go. And of course, that's when you get to see, you see imagery of Valak. You see Valak actually rise from the floor at the end of the hallway. Mm-hmm. She's trying to run away, and unfortunately Valak catches up with her, picks her up, snaps her neck, and you're like, oh, all right.
This is doing a lot of blood.
Yeah, she's got to do more than snap her neck, dude.
Oh, she snaps
it, cherry, dude.
She snaps it hard because there is blood just.
Yeah, I'm assuming that she just slops her head off.
Yeah, but the thing was, does Valak hide the bodies? Does no one discovered, or does Maurice get rid of the body? But the thing is Maurice doesn't know the whole time. He doesn't even know till the end that Valak is in him. He doesn't even know Valak's there.
It's just
I know.
The scene playing. It's so good.
Well, it does a good job of hiding itself. I mean, isn't that the best way of doing it? It's they just kind of lay super low and make.
No, I just want to know why the body wasn't discovered.
No, I know.
They don't mention this girl getting murdered. They don't mention anything of this at all.
Just a body.
I just assume that Valak takes over him and makes him do whatever, because he never knows when it's not him.
Right. Well, he doesn't even know what's happening.
Yeah, I just assume that it's just a mind wipe of the whole situation. So, I mean, he's a groundskeeper. He would know where to hide bodies.
Very true.
What if there's nothing wrong with Maurice? He's just practicing his throat singing, and it just sounds weird, and it scared this little girl.
Oh, but
it was all a misunderstanding.
That one got me though.
No, it's got some good visuals.
Yeah,
this
movie looks really good.
Yeah, it's got some good shot, horror, death scenes and scenes with Valak and stuff. It's really trippy sometimes, the colors and shit too. Not psychedelic.
Came back on.
This is a movie that looks like the time frame it's set in. So it's set in the mid 50s, and it looks like it's in the mid 50s. Where we've had this complaint in other Conjuring Universe films where it's set in the 70s, but it just doesn't feel like it. It just doesn't feel like it based on the way the characters act. I guess
this movie, because we're there, this movie feels older than the 50s. Yeah, I guess it's probably just where it's set because seems like a rural.
It just seems like
boarding school.
They are. Yeah, I agree. But the way that their clothes are, their hair's made and fixed, it just has that feeling, I guess.
Their horses don't even have headlights yet. I don't know.
Irene?
Nightgown. That's the word I was trying to think of.
Nightgown?
Nightgown. Oh my gosh. That just came to me.
So I don't even know what we're talking about.
She's wearing a nightgown. Okay. Sorry.
So Irene is having more visions. She's sleeping and she has a nightmare about Maurice pretty much telling her, "Save me, sister." And she wakes up. I like her haircut. She's got that nice short style going on.
She has a bob that before bobs were, I think, a thing.
Didn't that go? I don't know. I don't know when that started.
Do you think her hair is always wet though, because it's always under the thing? So her hair, she's just constantly sweating. So her hair is just always looking wet.
Well, everybody else, when like the demon and stuff starts taking people, everybody just gets really fucking sweaty. Does Valak just make people sweaty? God, dude.
Perspiration.
Valak's thick ass cheeks and shit. Like, bam, making everybody all sweaty in here. Like,
Valak's run down the hall. You just hear.
Yeah, it's just nothing. That's why she can't sneak up on people. She's got to use other people. She can't actually walk. Yeah. She's too damn thick.
Hey, Valak, you thick. Just turns around with those nasty teeth.
We'll just say that this took place in the summer. They have no air conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
It's a stone building.
Was there AC in the 50s?
Well,
I don't think they have air conditioning.
I don't know if this is a stereotype being an American and all, but I don't believe air conditioning is as common in European countries as it is here.
It is not. I have seen houses. I'm like, well, that house would be like the one I was looking at that was in Norway. I was like,
it's Norway.
I couldn't live there because they have no air conditioning in this house. Like,
you know what I didn't see? If you're rich enough to move here and live in Norway, just bring a fucking window unit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's illegal. Well, fuck you. So is my discomfort. So
the house was twice as big as ours.
Yeah.
It had like 3 acres of property at least.
Yeah.
And it was only 125,000 American dollars, and I was like,
yeah, but we have freedom here, so I'll just.
It would be cold.
Depending on where you live.
It would be way too cold though in the winter.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
But it was very pretty land.
So Irene gets notified that a cardinal is there, and of course you have to have like I've seen this scene many times where it's like the main character meets up with like somebody of higher power, and they're sitting at a table, very long table, just eating food. How many movies have you seen where that's a thing?
Allow me to be pompous, and there's always some shithead with them that speaks for them most of the time.
He's like no, it's this.
Yeah, he at least speaks for himself. But the fact that he's sitting by himself eating lunch, dinner, whatever, like, no, I don't want to sit by myself and eat. Sit with me.
It's called power.
Yeah.
That's not the power I want. That's fucking stupid as shit.
He tells her that Valak is back, and she's like, what? That's not possible. And he explains, well, his little crony behind him shows all the pictures of all the different people who have died because of Valak, and it is just spreading across Europe. So he needs her to help stop it once again. And immediately she goes, well, have you contacted Father Burke? And they went, oh yeah, he died. And you're like, oh,
poor Burke,
man,
dude.
Come on.
I know.
Like, I don't know the story behind. I don't know if the actor was notified. I don't know if the actor just said no. But the fact they just kill him off, like, just say oh, he can't assist with this. Don't just kill him. He died from cholera, and you're like,
I know, like he shit himself to death. Like, wow, dude, glorious.
Dysentery.
Well, cholera causes that.
I know.
I'm
just thinking of Oregon Trail.
Oh,
you died of dysentery.
That a snake bite, typhoid. Fucking, you died for it in the river. Little Jimmy can't swim in 2 feet of water. Oh fuck. He's
like that kid from Ernest Scared Stupid who couldn't fucking climb the small hill.
Yep, that's the one.
The monster's gonna get me. So she hops on a train to go to France, and Sister Deborah joins, and they have a little heart to heart. They talk about like their families.
I was just explaining something, and it's okay.
I just keep singing Sister Christian. The song.
Where did you get that from? Yeah,
every time it gets brought up, that's the song. It just comes. Anyway, go ahead.
Like I said, I need to make notes of the comments that I make because I made several comments.
You cannot say half the shit you say on this show.
The fuck ever.
I'm just kidding.
Say it if I damn well want to. No, I was saying, like, I notice when an actor dies or doesn't want to return, they always kill him off. It's never like, hey, this person can't do this for this reason. Like, don't just kill him.
You're like, what happened to Father Burke? He moved on. He just didn't want no part of this anymore.
Yeah.
Like the only time it's ever a good, not good thing, but it ever means anything is if the actor has been in that position, that role, character, for an extended period of time. Like when Corey Monteith died from Glee. They did a thing to him. They, said, hey, he died. Blah, blah, blah.
Not a fucking cholera.
But he was in the position that he played that character for many seasons. Like it was like 5. They were in their 5th season, I think.
I don't
like
remember.
it was, but don't just kill him off because, hey, I don't want to come back in this character. Okay, bye, you're dead.
It's happened many, many times.
Yeah, way too many.
No integrity.
Make up something better.
So, yeah, they have a little talk. They talk about their families. Deb talks about her family, as we talked about earlier. And
her mom, specifically. She died in a fire.
Who did?
Deb's mom.
I thought it was Irene.
No, Irene's mom didn't die in a fire.
Oh, yeah, Irene's mom got sent away.
Yeah, Deb's mom died in a fire.
Okay, well, I missed that.
Yeah.
All I remember is the conversation about the brothers going to war and her getting sent off to.
Yeah, she didn't mention. She mentions it on the train thing because she's got that drawn picture of her mom.
Oh, right.
That's where they kind of connect a little bit more, like their moment together on the train.
So we're back at the boarding school where Maurice is helping fix a cabinet for the teacher, and the Mean Girls take Sophie to go play a game called Defy the Devil.
Why would you go with these kids?
They're
shit asses. Why would you?
I feel bad because it's like Sophie doesn't have any friends. And so even though these girls are just the worst to her, anytime she senses some sort of like, oh, they want to play with me, she's just going to do it. She's so young. She just wants friends. And even though these girls suck, she just wants that sense of friendship. And fortunately,
they're the popular girls of this school, so she wants to fit in.
And so many times I just wanted the head one to just get offed.
I know!
Just give it time.
Gosh!
Give it time.
So the game is there's a stained glass window that has a goat in the middle. And when the sun shines through it, it turns the eye red. And pretty much you have to stare at the goat and never look away. Because if you look away, the goat will disappear and the devil will come. And the girls leave her and like lock her in the room. They like force her to stay in there. And this is where she starts seeing things. She sees a couple instances of Valak, popping up. And then you got the moment where at the door, there's like a statue that's covered with a cloth. And the statue like pushes forward and then you quickly see Valak, but then it turns into the statue as it crashes down.
Yeah.
Maurice shows up and saves her, gets her out of there. And he explains to, Sophie's mom, like pretty much what happened. And she kind of just like, she doesn't really do anything. She's just like, oh, those girls, they're not all bad.
She doesn't really do much for most of this movie that I remember.
No, she just looks at Maurice a lot with their,
bats her eyes.
But when she first walks in the room, you see the statue move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that. I'm like, well, something bad's about to happen.
Stone doesn't move like that.
So Irene and Deb get to France, and they're investigating the church. They go to the church. They talk to the nun that's there currently about what happens. They see the pictures. This is when Irene has a vision where Jacques, the chapel boy, or what are they called? Choir boy?
Yeah.
He comes in and he's got something in his hand. It looks like a box. And this is when she then turns around and like the body of the father is there all burnt up, like standing there. And then of course she gets out of it. So they go down and they see a picture, a really creepy ass picture of a Saint Lucy. who was the patron saint of the blind, who was burned for her beliefs or something, and her eyes were taken. And
so you see that same painting when the boy visits the first time with the wine.
Yep.
He's staring at that painting.
Yep.
Because I'm like, she has no eyes.
And they're in the
I'm
bowl.
like, oh,
It's
they're in the
so
bowl.
creepy.
Is this a real thing? Is this a real thing?
So
Saint whatever.
Saint Lucy. She was murdered by pagans. They lit her on fire.
Everybody's a pagan.
For killing her,
back then.
and they gouged out her eyes.
So supposedly, Saint Lucy it's a real saint. Lucia of Syracuse, better known as Saint Lucy.
Yeah.
She is venerated as a saint in a lot of religions, or a lot of versions of Christianity.
Oh, there's the painting.
Okay. Who'd have thunk it? Eyeballs for the win, dude.
Yeah.
And every painting that I'm seeing, she has eyeballs in a bowl.
Don't worry, they'll bring her
except
back.
for this one, it's
They'll bring Lucy and the Saint, whatever her name is,
Brand.
Lucy or whatever, in the sequel, and she'll like laser eyes.
But I remember when I saw this painting, when they're looking at it, and it's just black, and you're just like, ooh, just unsettling.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So they find out, though, that there was one other person at the church the day that the father was killed. And the nun pretty much, oh yeah, it's a guy. He has a nickname, or he's from Romania, and he has a nickname. And her and Irene say it together, like Frenchie, and it's like, oh shit. I mean, we all knew. It wasn't like a surprise.
Yeah.
We all knew he was involved. And so they need to figure out where the hell he is now. They find, and pretty much Irene is just like, oh, so that means that Valak is inside Maurice, and that Maurice, when he came back to save her in the first movie, she, became part of him. And we see it, of course, with the snake going down his throat and stuff. So we're back at the boarding school. The chapel is locked up, you find out, because the madam, her son died in there during the bombing raids during World War II. And so she just shut it off ever since then. She then, Sophie and her mom have a little talk, and then Sophie's mom leaves, but then she acts weird where she's like, she looks and like the mom is just walking really like just straight ahead, not reacting to anything. She's like calling for her, and I'm like, don't follow her. Don't do it. And what does she do? She fucking follows her.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God. She opens one of the doors, and it's the fucking Warren's hallway. Like, what? It's the scene from The Conjuring 2. I'm like, why? How?
Gotta have the Warrens in here somewhere.
Yeah, because I'm like, Mom, your mom just left. Why are you following her?
I mean,
and then it flips to that, and I was like, yeah, you think you should just like turn
me,
walk?
Yeah, I mean, this takes place in 1956, and Lorraine doesn't deal with Valak until what? 1977? So it's like 21 years.
No, remember, she dealt with Maurice before.
Oh yeah, because she dealt with Maurice before the events of the first Conjuring, so it was probably like the late 60s.
Late 60s, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
another thing I hate about sequels is the fact, or not sequels, but Jesus Christ, prequels. That one, the one before it, is the fact that you watch this movie knowing exactly where Maurice's story goes, but then at the end of this movie, it just kind of, you're just like, oh, come on. Just annoying. It just pisses me off. But the whole thing of her opening the door, and it's the exact same scene from The Conjuring 2 where Valak is at the end of the hall. I'm like, why? Why is this in this? Like, I don't care. This is just fan service bullshit.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And I didn't want that. I want this story, because it's a prequel, I want this to be its own thing. Yes, it does connect to the larger Conjuring universe, but like, I don't need, why? I need some explanation. Like, why is this even in here? It doesn't make sense.
It's not even relevant. There's literally no relevance. If these people were connected to the Warren or had been to the Warren's house, it would make more sense. But obviously they can't because this is before that even happened.
It's like the Disney universe, though. Like, how is all of this connected when every movie seems to take place in a different era? Like, they're not all set in the same year,
Right.
but yet you're made to believe that they're all connected?
What, you mean like the old animated ones?
No. So, Brave is supposed to be in the same universe
Monsters,
as, like, and Frozen.
Well, Frozen's
And-
their parents are
But
supposed to
it's
be the
made,
Tarzan's parents.
but it's made to
Have you heard
make
this?
you
Yeah, I've
think
heard
that
that
they are
theory.
all interwoven.
Yeah.
But
Well,
there, some of them are just like
Pixar and Disney I don't think they link up.
But it's like a big stretch for some of
Because
them.
I don't think Brave and Frozen link up at all.
It's just a big.
Everything has to link up, okay? Everything has to connect in some way. No, we don't.
I know,
need that.
but apparently they're all related, and I'm like,
yeah, it's dumb.
how?
Very dumb.
How?
I don't know.
It's just a stretch sometimes. Like I can get it that Valak can make you see and think whatever
Yeah.
you want, but it's a big stretch.
So Sophie sees Valak behind one of the doors, and then she runs down the stairs, and Valak just pops up, but then her mom opens up like a curtain, which releases light, and it just shows like an impression on the wall that looks like Valak. Really cool. I actually like this.
Yes, it was
None of
really
this
good. She
scared me.
opens the door.
None of this was scary. And I think
No.
that's another thing that I've complained about. That's what my biggest complaint was with the first Nun, was the fact that Valak is not scary in her own movies, because you were already scared of this entity in The Conjuring 2. Like, it was just all brought out in that movie. It just doesn't. The scares didn't work for me in this, but that shot was pretty cool. I do like the dark. You see her in the darkness, and then she opens up the curtain, and then it's just the impression.
Okay.
It seems like Valak is just turned into like, what's the other demon that we mainly talk about in this?
Fucking.
But you don't talk about the Annabelle, the demon.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
That one, yeah. Like that seems to be Malphus.
Yeah.
That one's, I was gonna say Mumra, but that's not.
I'm
that's
just
good.
thinking
That's
Beelzebub
fucking
and Bathsheba and stuff like that.
Thundercats.
Yeah. And-
Yes,
and-
but yeah. But no, but exactly. Like it seems like Valak is just supposed to be like the big bad, like display of power one. Like, look how fucking strong, and it's not even scary. It's just cool that she does shit, and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
keep doing your thing, Valak.
100%. So Irene runs into Jacques. He's playing soccer with his friends, and she asks about where his rosary went, because it wasn't with the body, and he said he took it when it all happened. And then she tries to continue to talk to him, but he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go just blend in with my friends here. And then of course we start seeing, like, you can tell like things are being manipulated, because he's just like they all disappear, and then Jacques just like comes popping out of different places. And then she gets to a random newsstand, and this is when you get the whole, all the magazines or pages are turning, and then it ends up forming the outline of Valak. And
I love this scene.
It's really cool. Like visually, aesthetically, it's really cool.
so from what I've read, Michael Chaves, this was like a scene he wanted in the movie the most. Like, he was very excited about this whole sequence, but I guess it was so hard to do, because he's trying to get all the getting pages to like line up right, and the pages to look good. I don't know if there was probably some visual effects done to get this to look as crisp as it does. But he pretty much stated after the fact, he's like, if I knew how hard it was going to be to do this shot, I would have just not done it.
But it was so good.
It was pretty well done, but it was the whole thing where it's like, don't turn around, don't turn around, don't turn around. And Valak, grabs her, causes her to like pass out. And oh no, this is when she gets taken to like the past, where she sees St. Lucy getting her eyes stabbed and about to be set ablaze.
Yeah. Take that, you wench.
Yeah. So she kind of gets the idea of like, okay, so this is what Valak wants. Like she pretty much figures out what Valak ends up wanting, which is the eyes of St. Lucy. So the madam finds Maurice. He's literally staring at a door, just mumbling to himself. And she's like, hey man, you might want to go. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's okay. Just go.
It said that he was doing the thing like the girl from Hell House was doing, except for he was using his crotch to hit the instead of his head.
He was hitting his head and not the head you think.
Yeah. She's like, what's wrong with you? She's like, I'm sorry, I'm French. It's just what we did here. Like, what?
A slight tap, just. Sir, that's not. You're not even moving your head. What the? Oh shit!
He's like, oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Just morning wood.
Yeah,
it happens to everyone.
And not MOR,
Totally
it's
normal,
MOUR.
fuck you.
Yep. Morning wood.
It might be morning wood. Somebody's gonna.
And this is when you get another scene that has been done a lot in horror movies, which is the I have dead childs. Demon is going to use said dead childs against me to end up killing me, which is what happens to the madam. She hears her son's voice. She goes in there. She sees him. She's like trying to talk to him or trying to get to him. Of course, he's like still dressed up in his altar boy outfit, and he's got the freaking smoke thing, and I don't know what it's called.
It's like, you need to stop wearing your ghost cosplay.
And
it's not the right time for this.
I do like the shot though when she sees Valak behind her son, and it kind of looks like she was like Valak was like puppeteering, like using him like a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just beats the shit out of her with the fucking thing, the smoke thing.
I can't remember what it's called.
Beats her. And she falls, and then a big giant hook lands on her face, killing her.
Nice. Good for her. GG.
So Irene is awake, and her and Deb are looking at the rosary from the father that was burnt and matching it up with another rosary that was found in one of the other victims, and it has a symbol on it. And they're like, well, what the hell is this symbol? Well, let's go talk to somebody about it. So they go and find this librarian who works for the church, and he pretty much states that it's a symbol of the descendants of St. Lucy. And pretty much what Valak is doing is killing all of the descendants of St. Lucy in order to find the eyes, to take the eyes back, because he's like, Valak is probably a fallen angel. Was once one of God's angels, fell from grace, as I think most demons are. I think most demons are fallen angels at one point. Yeah. I mean, the devil himself, Satan, Lucifer, is he is a fallen angel. But so pretty much what the eyes of St. Lucy would do is give Valak back its angelic powers. And so pretty much you got to find the eyes before Valak does. And that's why Maurice ended up going to the boarding school, because Valak knew that the eyes were there somewhere. The teacher finds the madam, and Maurice goes off to find Sophie. She's hiding up in like a bell tower, hanging out in a really cool spot. I do like the relationship between Maurice and Sophie and the mom. I think it's a really, really nice relationship. So yeah, they have a nice talk up in this really cool spot. Just the fact of sticking up for yourself. Don't let those girls be shitty to you. You're cool. You're a cool girl, and keep being cool. That's kind of the gist I got of that talk. So Irene talks about her mom, and you get the full story about the fact that her mom was very religious, and her ramblings, in quotations, were caused her father to pretty much put her in a psychiatric hospital because he thought she was crazy. But it was because she had the same visions that Irene has. Like she pretty much just deals with the same exact things. So you get that whole backstory. I hate when I lose my spot here. This one, Maurice starts having an episode while he is hanging out with Sophie and her mom. They're like, dancing and stuff. And then he starts kind of going through it. And the Valak painting shows up behind Sophie in one of the shots. So when it's kind of like an indication like Valak is here. It's the same painting from The Conjuring 2. It's the one that Ed paints, which is another thing. I'm like, what? We all just paint the same
reference.
Thing? All right,
it's cool. A reference.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. The altar boys carry what's called a censer.
Okay.
That's what he beat the shit out of her with.
Okay.
He censored her.
I guess it's an incense. It's an incense burner.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense.
I was like, he bit the shit out of her. That's what I've been looking up.
So Irene and Deb show up, and you get this whole interaction where Maurice sees Valak, but doesn't realize that Valak is actually part of him. So he's getting Julie and the mom out of there. They run into each other, and Irene's like, get away from them. And he's very confused, and he's like, I don't understand. She's like, it's my fault. When you saved me, Valak was able to escape from the whole situation through you, which I just am so confused about. So is Valak able to split?
Or correct.
It's like it has to be, because you see at the end
You're
of
a wizard, Harry.
Well, the thing is, you see at the end of the first Nun that Valak gets destroyed by the blood of Christ. So is there more than one? Like what? It's so confusing. I'm so confused.
So here's my analogy for us Dragon Ball Z fans out there. Valak is Cell, or Boo, or half the other regenerating characters, that only one part of them only my nucleus has to remain. I can fully regenerate. So literally like a part
Cell.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah, she's Cell. It has to be. So just puts a part of her in there that she can literally regenerate from, and if her main body dies, it doesn't matter because she still has that one.
And that's the only thing that makes any sense, because
why not?
Just assume that she didn't fully die.
Listen. If this movie pans out the way it does, if the alleged blood of Christ, which is God,
yeah. Well, no.
Why wouldn't that
necessarily? Jesus isn't God. Jesus was just a disciple of God.
The Son of God.
He's the Son of God.
But they're often seen like in a similar entity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. What all that shit. But it's practically similar saying, right? If that does not fucking kill Valak might as well just be better than Satan at that point.
Wait, because I'm an idiot. So the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, that's all just a reference to Jesus, right? That whole prayer?
Yes.
Okay. I think I knew that. I don't know.
Anyway, but you know what I'm saying? Like if that can't best Valak.
Yeah, no.
So he had Valak's from the first movie had to be dead outside of whatever he left in the Frenchman and she left in the French.
So you also have to think. I know you two don't.
No.
You definitely don't believe. But so God was tempted by the devil in the Bible.
Okay.
It was pretty much pretty much, you can't do this type speech to him. It's hard for me to think that Valak was using other powers other than just, hey, you're typical, like, underling.
Now, Valak might as well
demon.
be Satan at this point, because if it's that powerful.
That's what I'm assuming, that Satan is like, hey, I'm just gonna, like, give you a little bit of a push here.
Yeah, or Satan's manipulating this, or it's like Valak's like his right hand man or some shit. Like, the stuff that pulls off between these movies. It's not just like a regular demon that possessed, whatever, a fucking clacky monkey,
I want to know where the monkey came from. I'm just saying.
It's Toy Story 3, dude. You even watched it?
So, Maurice is told that Valak lives inside him. He's all confused, but it makes sense.
Analogy for STDs. It's fine.
Yeah. And this is when Valak takes control of him and starts speaking to Irene in the demon voice, which is the only time you ever hear Valak talk is through someone else. You never see Valak when it is the nun. It never... There's a fucking bug flying around here.
I saw it.
Get out of here. I'm recording.
I see it again.
which
I want to help too.
I'm fine with these demons speaking to people through people.
Yes.
Yeah, just don't have the demon talk.
Yeah, I'm glad that we never actually see
like
Valak talk as the nun.
No.
Yes. Because that would just kind of...
So he changes, and he is destined to go to the spot where he knows where the eyes are. And you get, Irene and Deb getting thrown around. But then Irene is able to kind of slow Valak down by, saying a prayer. And then Deb ends up hitting him upside the head, knocking him out. They tie him up, they chain him up, and then they go to the room that Sophie was playing that Defy the Devil game. And so she explains the game to him, and then they're like, oh, maybe that's the key in order to locate it. So they shine the light through the pane glass, and it shines the red light to the location. They dig. But they all look away from the goat in the stained glass, and Sophie turns, and the goat's gone.
And you're not supposed to look away.
Yep. It all falls through, man.
And of course, she is like, fuck?
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, that's the part of the don't look away part. I mean...
Yeah. So Maurice gets loose. Doesn't take very long. He gets out of his chains and runs away. You all right, Dan?
Yeah, I'm good. Let's wait for the part we're about to get to. It just made me think of something.
So we then go upstairs where the main mean girl is making her underling go upstairs to investigate a noise that they're hearing. And I went, fuck you. I would not be this girl's friend no more. And I would have just told her no.
No.
What are you going to do? You going to make me go up there? You going to drag me up there? No, thank you. But
no
she does anyways.
It's a powerful word.
But the girl ends up going because she's not very bright. They find the eyes in the room.
She's blonde.
We then go back, and the girl is slowly making her way up the stairs, and she runs into Deb.
Damn it.
And she's like, what are you doing? She's like, there's a noise upstairs, and I'm just trying to figure out what it is. And so Deb literally just stands there and just spins around in one spot and shines the light like 2 or 3 times, and then stops, and you see... The first thing you see are the horns.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what is this?
She was not making her way downtown walking fast.
No.
That's all I could think about.
Clapping him.
Yeah, this is when Goat Man attacks.
I'm thinking of I'm sorry.
And this Goat Man is the scariest part of this movie, to be honest. Yeah. The scariest part of this movie is this fucking Goat Man who just runs down the stairs to go after these girls. They hide inside where they sleep, and then they just start getting thrown around. Like the Goat Man's not even in there, but they're just getting thrown around the room, and the one girl's like almost getting dragged out of the room, and
she'll be fine.
God damn.
Just walk it off. She'll be fine.
Dude.
Is this what you're thinking of?
No. This made me think of something entirely else. The eyeballs. The eyeballs made me think of Shabriri grapes from Elden Ring, because it's this woman like, I want these grapes because when I eat the grapes, she's blind, but she can see light when you eat the grapes. There was some type of fermented eyeball.
Okay.
I want to eat
eyeballs.
It causes. She doesn't know. It's so she asked for it because it's the only thing that gives her the ability to temporarily see something. It actually causes madness. But anyway,
What doesn't?
Elden Ring. Elden Ring.
What doesn't cause madness?
That's right. Not this game. Not these shows. Nobody ever has to go see a fucking psychiatrist about
No.
this.
I mean, they don't ever show what happens afterwards, but they're all in therapy.
How they doing these? We've seen these guys in multiple fucking movies, and nobody's like, I should talk to somebody about this.
So Maurice, now escaped, is back in the room, and he attacks Irene and the group. And Sophie ends up taking the eyes and running out of there.
Bye, Sophie.
Yep. Deb and the girls, they're hiding from the goat man in like a little, looks like a little booth.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, let's escape into the madam's old room. So the main mean girl pokes through there. And I'm glad that they changed it up from the trailer. Because in the trailer, in this scene, she shines the flashlight and Valak is standing in the doorway. And then she backs out and the hands come out and choke her. I like the fact that it's the madam is there.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
she's just standing there in her room.
Menacingly. Menacingly at the corner of Conch and Coral.
Because she's the only one that can see anything.
Yeah.
And she sees Madame Laurent standing there.
Yep.
And she backs out and they're like, what did you see? And she's like, she's just standing there.
They should have killed her off like they did the delivery girl.
Yeah, but they
fucking
didn't.
done with it.
She got saved like 4 times in this movie.
But
Because people have hearts or something.
No.
But
Give them a
it's-
second
People have
chance. Fuck
feelings. Gross.
And she's got her head in there and she's like all scared by the cockroaches that are crawling around.
Yeah.
But it's just those little details. They kept the cockroaches in there.
So yeah, and then this is when the zombie madam attacks, crawling through the little opening there and going after them.
So good though.
Maurice goes after Sophie, who has the
Yes.
eyes, chases her up to the bell tower, and she uses the relic to kind of like stun him, and she like leaves, and then shit happens where the whole fucking bell tower just starts to collapse.
Yeah.
The bell fucking falls, and shit is going crazy. Sophie is trying to cling on to things, trying to escape. And
That's not Star Trek Klingon.
no, not that kind of thing. And Maurice ends up falling. And
Hi, Maurice.
I just thought he was going to be dead.
The plank of wood scene here reminded me of, for those of you who played it, the scene with the girl you try to rescue in the farm and with the town hall in Resident Evil 8, the village. It reminded me of that scene.
So Irene ends up fending off Maurice, but Valak has other ideas to the point where Irene thought she stopped everything, but then Maurice ends up getting pretty much faking her out, takes the eyes, and now Valak has the eyes.
And then the music cuts. And it's like, I am complete. Yes, you are fucked. Shit out of luck. Now I'm complete and my cock you will suck. You know what that song is? Nobody knows that song?
Oh, I know.
Yep. It's Beelzebub
I just-
by Tenacious D.
Didn't think
Well,
you
to be
would.
honest, I was going to guess it was a Tenacious D song.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yes, dude. I did just, we were talking about this, the eyes, dude. Use the eyes to get the power back. And that's the song that I just thought
I
of.
just wasn't thinking.
I was like, I'm
that
doing
you were
this
gonna
when this
quote
part
that.
comes up. Oh, God,
you know?
I had to. It's so good.
So yeah, Valak has the eyes. That's not good. And
Nope.
to be honest, really, I like the shot of Valak regaining
Yeah.
those angelic powers where it has like the halo, like the ray
Light.
of light around.
But it's
Around
kind of
her.
discolored.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And
It's
of course,
dope.
like the eyes were always yellow, but they're like glowing.
Yeah, yeah. Scary shit, dude.
So the goat man's back and they're hiding behind a door. And the mean girl, the head mean girl, she gets a freaking horn right through the chest.
Yeah.
And
Whoops.
And
She's
so
fine.
they gotta escape to that the room that they found the eyes in, and they're thinking this goat man's gonna come through the door and like just end their day. And then we get a kind of a rehash of a scene we've already seen where Irene facing a now more powerful Valak lifting her up, spreading her out, starting to set her on fire. And then she starts having some visions that kind of like flash all over the place. You see fucking Irene, or you see Lorraine in there. I'm like, the fuck?
I don't understand that. I was like, what the hell is going on?
So I'm guessing that everybody she sees in her vision are descendants of St. Lucy. And so I think that is the connection
I think so
that
too.
Lorraine has with Irene, is the fact that they are both descendants of St. Lucy. They're not related, like they're not like sisters or anything, but they're, I mean, technically in real life they are. But
Yeah.
but I think that's kind of why, because Lorraine has the same powers as Irene. They both have visions and they can see things and all that stuff. So that kind of makes sense. But it's just like, why do we have to keep throwing the fucking Warrens in this? It doesn't make sense.
Because they said, I know that
the Warrens made the money.
Yeah, it was true. Because that's when Irene says something, her mom says, like, you have eyes just like mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, are they related?
Yeah.
Like, are they descended? Like, it's like all these people.
So the actress who played the mom was also the same one who played when you see St. Lucy getting killed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just like that they delved into Irene's backstory more.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's what sequels are for.
Yeah.
Build on some shit you didn't get a chance to talk about the first movie.
So yeah, because she is a descendant of St. Lucy, the flames don't engulf her. The flames actually go out, and they all fall, or she falls. They all kind of huddle up. Valak's trying to get Sophie, or it's Maurice trying to grab Sophie. There's like spikes that Valak like shot up and out of the ground, and so Irene's like, pray with me to Deb, and so they do this prayer because they notice there are wine barrels all surrounding where Valak is, and so pretty much this prayer is going to change the wine inside the barrels to blood, which explode, engulfing Valak, killing Valak, or at least you think. And now the demon is gone, and the demon is out of Maurice, at least we think. And
I know. I was gonna say because they referenced that earlier in the movie. It's when Irene and Deb are talking, like the first time they talk. She's like, I just can't buy the wine being turned, the blood of Christ. He's like, it's just part of what we do. Like, us believing makes it happen. So it's just this connection to that line earlier in the movie. It's the full circle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a smart idea, because the whole fact of, like, in church you're drinking wine that is the blood of Christ. So you do a prayer to actually turn the wine into blood. Because
that's what they...
What's so funny, Dan?
I just think of Family Guy. When he goes to church, wow, that's the blood of Christ? That dude must have been loaded. I'm sorry. I'm not making... I'm not trying to make fun of it. That's just the thing I think of. But I know there's a reason for it.
That's what... and I can't think of the name right now.
What Catholics do that?
Well, we did it too.
Did you do the wafer too?
But we did grape juice.
Okay, but you did the wafer thing, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
The wafers. It's... What?
Well, when you were a kid, right? They gave you grape juice. But they would give the adults wine, right?
No, we were not Catholic.
Oh.
So
what were you again?
Everything, but Catholic.
Everything but Catholic.
No, I don't even.
I know there's a name for it. I can't think of what it's called either.
My brain right now can't think of anything specific.
I mean, I don't hate this ending, but I'm also looking at this ending going, this is exactly the same way that Valak gets killed in the first one. It's the same way. It's just exactly the blood of Christ. Like,
it's just more
communion.
Blood.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Union.
Communion.
I was like, I think that we
all. You eat a wafer. That's the body of Christ. You drink the grape juice. That's the blood of Christ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's and you have to go through communion in order to actually do it, or something like that, right?
Well, like our churches always did it once a month. It was a once a month thing.
I did it.
Depends on what denomination you were.
I've maybe done it twice in my life.
Hey, we always had Welch's grape juice. Just saying.
What was the wafer?
It was good. Just a cracker. Like, just a small cracker. Yeah, it was not very good. But it was just the symbolism. It wasn't what it tasted like.
Um,
No, I never had wine. I never went to. Mom did one time. She went to a wedding and they did a communion at the wedding, and she's like, "That was so different." It's like, well.
So Valak is gone, and for now, yeah, we see Maurice. His tomatoes came in. Tomatoes came in real nice.
Hey.
The tomato seeds that he used to plant those were the ones that Irene gave him when they depart after the first one. So, or in that like flashback scene. But of course, Maurice walks away with Sophie and her mom. I think her name was Kate. Just didn't care. And of course, like Irene's happy for him, but then she like kind of looks concerned. And you're like, yeah, because we know exactly what happens to Maurice.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that frustrates me about this movie is the fact of like we know the aftermath of we know how Maurice ends. Like he ends up like I think what I don't remember who told it. I think it was Ed who talks about the whole case, the fact that like he killed his wife, and then this was like the worst case for Lorraine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was like it's just disappointing because like you want like to be honest, I was like I kind of wanted Maurice to have a happy ending, but he's not going to, and it sucks.
I think we were talking about this, and I already told Angela that the next one they do, almost maybe not the next movie they do, but they will do a follow up, and this will be that case. I
hope so.
it.
I hope so though. I want to see. I just want to see where it goes. I just want to.
I do too.
If you're gonna give us all this, just have it lead up, have it connect, and then fucking end this franchise. Yeah. Seriously, like this franchise needs to end. Like they're making another Conjuring.
That may be this. Because it has to be a Conjuring movie, right?
Yeah,
because
but are they gonna Lorraine... Are they going to go back in time? Are they going to so they're going to make a fourth Conjuring that's going to be before the first? I don't like that.
It could. I don't know. Fuck, who gives a shit?
I think it's called The Conjuring Last Rites, so I'm guessing it's going to be the last Conjuring movie, which I really hope so.
Well, the only reason I say that is because it would tie this up. Because we've only seen snippets of this or heard of this. We've never actually seen the case.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And I may be wrong, but I think if anything, do that and be done with it. Or if you do a fourth one, do something just entirely whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But yeah, that's it. That is The Nun 2. There was a mid-credit scene, which is just a phone call to Ed and Lorraine because we have to have them pop up. And,
that's why I felt that was the next movie. All outside of what they all talked about. So
there was something I read where it's either them getting the phone call about the Maurice case, or it's just a phone call about the case that's going to take place for the Conjuring 4. And I guess it was archive footage from the last Conjuring movie. They didn't actually film anything specifically for this.
Oh,
they just took archive footage and just put it in there. It's a phone call from Father Gordon because we got to have Father Gordon pop up too. He doesn't show up, but he's on the phone. So that's it.
Absolutely.
That is.
Hello.
Hello. Hey.
You made it.
Welcome to your first night at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria.
I literally watched Dead Meat play through that whole first game a couple days ago. Side note.
I was watching some of it. I never finished it.
We started rewatching Markiplier play it because Saris is like obsessed with it.
Outside his language, I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
yes, it has language, but she knows.
Yeah.
He's the king of Five Nights at Freddy's, dude. I mean,
but yeah, that is it. That is The Nun 2 from 2023, and hopefully for a while that'll be the last Conjuring movie we cover.
Yes.
Until whatever next comes. So let's talk about our thoughts on this movie.
In Parker's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about our thoughts on this movie. Let's start off with Angela.
I loved this one.
Ooh.
So much. Like, we watched this, and there were certain scenes. Normally when I get excited, he knows.
She hits me.
I don't hit. I'm like, hey. But he was doing cards and I couldn't get to it. And I'm like, hey, look at this.
She beats me. Just kidding. Go.
There's so many scenes in this where I get so excited. Like when the mom opens the door and it goes from Valak to the wall, and it's just the pattern in the wall that looks like Valak. I love things like that. No, there weren't very many jump scares, but that's okay. Like, I got the first one with the wine bottle bursting. Like, that got me. Like, I wasn't you hear it cracking, but you weren't expecting it to burst when it did. Like, I was waiting for more, like, build up to it. So that got me. But I don't know, I just loved it. I love Frenchie. And I wanted him to be
Sounds
okay.
terrible to call him that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know, and he's like, I told Angela at the end of the movie, she's like, I want him to be okay, be a good guy. I was like, and he's like, yep, I grew these tomatoes, now I'm gonna go murder my family.
I mean, you know what happens. And you know what he does and what he goes through.
Don't worry, the devil made him do it. It's fine.
I know, but like, he makes you like him.
I do like Maurice. I mean, I hate he's got a bum rap. I liked him in the first movie.
Because you get those certain people where it doesn't take much to fall in love with them in, like, books, movies, like, and then you just don't want anything bad to happen. But
all right, yeah, just sit there longer, Dan. Don't say anything.
I'm like looking. I'm staring at him. I know you can see me staring at you.
It was symbolism.
Because they're staring at each other.
Well, it was the way that was shot with her holding the rosary. It was all right. This movie was fine. I don't really have any big gripes or anything against this movie. I like the original one better, I think. I didn't care for the extra characters they added, the annoying little girls and stuff, or the headmaster. I think it was just body count fodder, and it's a shame that, like we talked about, they didn't kill the little girls. I didn't dislike this movie at all. But I mean, that's all the headmaster lady was to get murked by her own kid.
And like you said, there was little kids. It's too bad they didn't kill them.
Well, the annoying little fucking girls, you know. And now you know how I am about kids getting hurt in movies. They fucking Valak just needs to toss them in front of a bus, dude. Just done, you know. Anyway,
I wanted Valak to poke the girl's eyeballs out when it was the mat. I just wanted her to go through her eyeballs.
Oh,
and I don't want bad things to happen to kids, but
no, exactly.
It's deserved.
There was some really cool shots. Like I like the newsstand scene. I like the hallway scene and that cut out like Valak, and I liked how she like burst people into flames. There was some pretty decent violence in these movies, which again has seemed to have been escalating as these movies go on, especially when you find the head lady's corpse after she got taken out by the hook. But you know, it's okay. Like I like that they brought Maurice's character. You know, where Irene's character is still great. The rest of the characters was just like whatever. But I wish Burke was back because I liked him. But it was okay. I mean, it was how I feel about most sequels. Most sequels are less good than the original one, the one that preceded it, usually, and but not by a whole lot. Like it was fine. It was all right.
Yeah, I gotta say it's probably like on par with the first one for me. I think my biggest issue is the fact that Irene really didn't feel like she wasn't a part of it as much. Like she was on the outside, and it was a lot more focused on Maurice and that boarding school, which is fine because that's where Valak was. But you know, you kind of hyped up Irene being this main character, and she doesn't really do a lot up until the end of the movie. And you're like, oh, okay. I mean, I know she's like trying to investigate and trying to figure it all out, and then it's like, boom, she has all the information. She goes to Maurice and all that. Bing, bang, boom, whatever. Another problem, it's just not scary. Like there's no. And I've said it before, like horror movies don't really scare me anymore. But there are moments where I'll watch a horror movie and it can get you. It just gets you. Like you get the jump scares or you get just like
creepy
or creepy, uneasy feeling. It's just I didn't get any of that in this movie. Valak just doesn't do it for me anymore. Like it's such it's so overplayed that it's like, oh well, like some of these shots are cool, but other than that, like the character just doesn't do it for me anymore. The performances are fine though. I think, Bonnie Aarons as the nun, she does a great job.
Oh yeah,
she's fantastic.
Yes. I hate to overlook her because she doesn't talk, but she's great. Like physical acting, we've talked about her before.
She's good at looking creepy.
Oh fuck yeah, she is.
When you can use body language to convey what you want without talking, you're doing a great job.
How long do they fuck up and they make her talk?
Yeah.
I don't care if they make her like growl or anything.
Well, they do. She does growl when she like.
Yeah. Like
or scream. That's all she normally does.
Yeah, but don't make her talk. No, we don't need that.
Oh my god, I know what's gonna happen in the third movie. I think somehow Irene and Mrs. Warren are gonna team up.
Sister,
I wouldn't even be upset about it.
It's gonna be like Avengers style. It's gonna be like the Warrens / good people versus various possessed people.
Miss Warren's gonna be like Sister Irene, and she's gonna be like literally.
Yeah.
Because they're.
and Ed's just gonna be there.
Yeah.
And but no, but like
still doesn't work well.
He's gonna play his guitar and sing like
Elvis. He's gonna sing Elvis. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. But no, it's just gonna be them versus like Valak and all the other demon, like the hag from the first one and shit, the witch. It's all gonna.
Yeah, it's fine. It's nothing special. It just seems like more of the same. I think the visuals look really good. I think the acting is done well. I just don't think the script is strong enough to. Just wasn't strong enough. Like I feel like they were just repeating the same beats that they did in the prior movie. They made it a little bit more open than the first one was. It's fine.
I missed the setting of the first one though. That creepy ass castle.
Creepy castle.
That was fucking sweet, really dude.
Cool. Yeah, it's just fine. It's fine. I didn't hate watching it. And,
it could have been a lot worse.
To be honest, I always like to. I always like to watch a movie a second time, especially after we do the podcast, because then I can just sit down and watch it. Because I'm taking notes when I'm watching a movie, and this was my first time watching it, so I probably missed some things. So it'd be nice to go back and rewatch it again to maybe pick up on something that I could comment on later. But other than that, it was fine. All right, now we're gonna rank it. We're gonna add it to our
outnumbered.
We're gonna add it to our rankings. It's fine.
No,
you can.
Dude,
like
I'm
it.
glad we.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have differing opinions.
I'm gonna let you guys determine where it is because I'll be outnumbered.
I know where I'd put it, but
so.
But it's
our rankings.
Complaining.
Mad Valak.
So starting from the bottom, is The Nun 2 better than The Curse of La Llorona?
Oh God, yes.
Is it better than Annabelle Comes Home?
Yes.
Is it better than The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It?
Yes.
Is it better than the first Annabelle?
Did I not like Oh yeah, because I only like the opening of that one, yeah. And the elevator scene. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the only thing that makes that fucking movie.
Is it better than the first Nun?
No. Not for me, no. This is where I'm like, this is as far as I go. You guys
see, I like this one better. Oh. That's why I said I'll be outnumbered.
Ooh, so it's up to me though, because I said it was on par with the first Nun, but do I like this one more than the first Nun? That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
He's getting really sweaty while he thinks about
I like
this.
the performances more in this one. Like I like Maurice's I like his character arc in this one more than I did in the first one.
He's a much more tormented soul in this movie.
And to be honest, even though I was talking about the fact that like Irene isn't involved until like the end, I do like her and Deb's relationship and their teamwork, and the visuals were better for me, even though, like I said, they kind of rehash the same scenes that they used in the prior movies, but whatever. I'm gonna say yes by a very slim margin.
But I think that's about as far as it goes, though.
Yeah, because the next one is Annabelle Creation.
Yeah.
And there's no way. The Annabelle Creation is really good. All right. So our new rankings are starting from the top, we'll start from number 1. Our number 1 movie is The Conjuring 2. At number 2 is The Conjuring. At number 3 is Annabelle Creation. At number 4 is The Nun 2. At number 5 is The Nun. At number 6 is Annabelle. At number 7 is The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. At number, what did I say? 8, I think, is Annabelle Comes Home. And at number 9 is The Curse of La Llorona.
I will say the director did better than his last 2 movies.
This is his best movie.
You're on the way up. You're on your way up, dude.
Yeah, this is his best movie of his Conjuring Universe films.
Just keep that trend going. You'll probably direct the next one because nobody else is gonna fucking do it. So just keep aim for the stars, young man.
I think they're all like, I'm out. Bye.
We didn't get any comments on this movie, which is
because nobody watched it.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm just kidding.
We got one. It was from Doom Generation, who just said, I've never seen any of these, but Tessa has seen them all. That's
okay. Hey, that's fine. That's still a comment.
Still a comment. So thank you. And yeah. So now let's talk about what we're doing next week, because next week is the start of our holiday favorites or Christmas favorites, whatever you want to call them. And
as far as the eye can see.
This is our 3rd year doing it. And as you know, it's just like our Spooktober favorites, where each of us gets to choose a movie we cover for the month, Christmas themed or holiday themed. It can be, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever type of movie. Usually it's Christmas, but
what is it? It's Hana Christmica or something?
Hana Christmica? What?
Yeah. It involves them all.
I just want to find next year I'm gonna pick a movie that's like horror related or something, has something to do with like Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or some shit, and like just something completely different.
Listen, do it.
Hell yeah. Dan, you brought us a Gundam movie.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Dude, like some dude posted on Twitter about that, and dude, like he's like, this is the only like Christmas movie related hill I'm gonna die on. It was Gundam Wing, and I retweeted. I was like, same. I was like, she got the mobile suits as a Christmas present. It's a pivotal to the plot. It's a fucking Christmas movie.
But next week we are starting with Angela's pick. We are going to be talking about The Year Without a Santa Claus. We're covering another Rankin Bass classic. Which it will be our second time doing so, as we covered Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer 2 years ago, and it was one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. We beat it with A Year Without a Santa Claus? No.
Just wait, though. You will want to visually see this.
I do want to say, too, to follow up with hers, I'm going to ask all the audience now, and I'm sure it will get brought up between now and then when we record, but I'm wondering, when you think of Santa Claus, what actor do you think of? Because I know who my answer is.
I know what my answer is.
Tim, the Tool Man, Taylor.
Not for me.
To be honest, that's my answer, because I think growing up, he's been Santa Claus. He's Santa Claus again.
It was there.
Yeah,
he's good, dude. He's a good.
There's a lot of great Santa Claus. I mean, fucking Kurt Russell was Santa Claus, and he was awesome.
Goldberg was a Santa Claus.
I want somebody to pick Jingle All the Way one year.
Yes.
Just to see.
Yes. Oh Jesus! Fuck that movie, dude. So
yes.
hard.
A Year Without a Santa Claus will be next week's movie. I'm so excited to do that.
It's a good one. It's gonna be a
Me
good one.
too.
Yeah. So now for the end of show rigmarole, whatever word it is.
Yeah.
You can follow us at Dissect That Film on all the social medias: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We have merch. Yeah, Dan's wearing our merch right now. You can go to
not the correct season, but
you can go to our TeePublic store, where we have that beautiful for all of our audio listeners. He's wearing our wonderful Spooktober themed
With Vanna White over
logo. Here. I will be making a holiday themed logo, a Christmas themed logo for December. So make sure to check out our TeePublic store. They have sales all the time, so make sure to go over there and check that out. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/dissect that film, or / I don't know what the fuck how's the slash go? Is it / I don't know. People say / I just say slash. You can figure it out.
It is
/ right?
It's hard to say.
Yeah. So patreon.com / dissect that film where we have
I don't know.
bonus material and early access to episodes when I'm not lazy and I actually get them up early. But we have a $1, a $3, and a $5 tier where you can support us there and help us out, pay for some stuff that we do for the podcast. All of it goes right back into the podcast, and we appreciate you very much. We are also very close to being able to hopefully monetize the YouTube, so that would be
Nice.
cool. That's still in the works. But yeah, that is it for us tonight. Thank you to all of our patrons. Thank you to everybody who listens to the show. You guys are amazing. You all make us continue to want to do this. We enjoy what we're doing, and we enjoy the fact that you enjoy what we're doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Until next time, I'm Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming. We are Dissect That Film, and this has been the Dissect That Film Podcast, episode 135. See y'all again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.